Hi students, welcome to this session on strategy to crack TISS verbal section. Before moving further, let's have an overview of this session, exactly what we shall be taking up. So in this session, we shall try to understand the pattern of the exam, verbal section and different types of questions that come in this section. Second, we shall be learning how to handle different types of questions. First of all, overview of 2014 TISSNET verbal section. So paper had 100 questions and total number of marks 100. The paper didn't have negative marking, an advantage to the test takers. The verbal section was easy to moderate. There were few RCs. RCs also were easy to moderate, and the rest of the paper in verbal section was dominated by vocabulary based questions. There was another section also which is deciding factor when it comes to TISSNET examination. It is GK section. So GK also covered questions related to social issues and socio-cultural issues. All in all, the paper was made in keeping the mindset of Indian students or the test takers. Overall feel of the paper was easy to moderate. Overview 2014, verbal ability marks 35, questions 35, and the overall feel of the section was moderate to tough. Now let us look at the overview of 2015 TISSNET and TISSNET verbal section. So total there were 3 sections, number of questions again 100, marks per question 1, and there was again no negative marking. Now if we look at the overview of 2015 verbal section of TISSNET examination, you will find English section consisted of 35 questions and all the questions were moderate to difficult. Reading comprehensions were also moderate to difficult in comparison to previous year. They were little lengthy also, and few of the RCs had inference based question also. So it is very important to brush up fundamentals related to reading comprehensions if we want to crack this particular section or exam. Other questions included analogy, paragraph formation, inappropriate usage of word. All in all, paper was moderate to tough. So primarily what we can make out from 2014 and 2015 verbal analysis, that TISSNET primarily is dominated by RCs and vocabulary based question. In vocabulary, we have fill in the blanks, analogies, and antonyms, synonyms, etc. So the point is, you need to revise vocabulary, you need to brush up RCs, practice a lot of RCs and from diverse area no doubt, so as to score well in this exam. Now the very important section, strategy to crack or to score well in TISSNET verbal section this time. Time management no doubt is very important because we have got 100 minutes to answer 100 questions. So we should not spend more than 25 to 30 minutes on verbal section. And at the max, one should try to attempt 28 to 32 questions. Minimum should be 24. Again, as we saw in our previous slides, that TISSNET verbal section is dominated by reading comprehensions and vocabulary. So it's very important to clear basics, brush up fundamentals and revise vocabulary. We are also expecting that passages this time will also be easy to moderate, and you have to be extra careful about answering the question or at least selecting the questions or the passage. You need to increase your reading speed, and with reasonable accuracy will add to your advantage. On the whole, focus should be on increasing the attempts as well as maximizing the accuracy to score well in TISSNET verbal section. This is one of the topmost exams when it comes to management related to HR courses. It's one of the foremost prestigious institutions when it comes to human resource. Now let us look at few sample questions based on TISS verbal exam pattern. The first question is based on contextual vocabulary, and we have been asked the meaning of the word edifice is underlined, and we have been given one sentence containing this word. We need to read the sentence, understand the context, and we have to guess the meaning and pick up the right option for this question. So sentence goes like this: the edifice of public space built up through literacy or informative institutions of popular education on which pillars of democracy were mounted. Now the key words are on which pillars of democracy were mounted. Now something is mounted on something, that means that primarily the thing is platform or the basis or the foundation, or can be termed as infrastructure. Therefore, answer to this particular question would be option 1. Now the next question is based on parajumble sentence rearrangement. Again the tricks would remain the same tricks to find an opener or the closing sentence or mandatory pairs, etc. But it is very important, before you start applying tricks, read all the sentences very carefully and try to understand the context, what exactly all the sentences are trying to convey. Then we can think of applying the tricks. So take your time. You can see 3 sentences right now on your screen. Go through all these sentences very carefully, and I shall be moving on to the next slide. If you want to read these 3 sentences again, take pause and come back. Now on this screen you see 2 sentences, last 2 sentences, D and E. So we need to first think of an opener, then closing, or let's say if we are lucky then we can even track mandatory pair also. So if I go through all the sentences, I will find that C is opening the sequence. Now we have got 2 options, 2 and 4. Let's go back to the sentence C. C says that an operating system must work with applications and other elements in a hardware platform. So very general, we are talking about operating system and it should work with few parameters or few accessories. C will open the sequence because an opener should be very general and should always introduce the theme of the sentence. Now we just need to check what will come after C, because we have zeroed in on 2 options, either second or fourth. Now we just need to check what will come after C. It would be B or it would be E. Now B says each software product introduces a variation and consequently a change in the system. So it is talking about why operating system must work with the application and other elements in the hardware platform. E says in other words. It is for sure that when you use the word or the phrase in other words, this means that it has to be something before this. So after C, B will come. So answer is pretty clear now. Answer is CBEAD, that is option number 4. Now the next question is based on analogy. The only catch is that you should have above average vocabulary to crack these questions, be it sentence completion or fill in the blanks. Because the first task is to understand, we should know the meanings of these 2 words or a given pair, question pair. Then we can understand or crack the relation between the 2 given words, and then we can think of answer. So recommence is to start, suspend is to stop. So pair of antonyms. Non-challenge or non-challenge is disinterested, not concerned, cold, not emotional, etc. Not at all bothered about even. So opposite in this case would be beleaguered, that means vexed or angered. Now the next question is based on synonym, and the given word is hex, and we have to find its synonym or similar meaning. Hex is an evil spell. Therefore answer to this question would be option 4. Next question is based on sentence completion or fill in the blanks. The trick is very simple, that you need to understand the context, pick up the few clue words or the keywords and pick up the right answer option. So let us read the sentence first. It says, ironically, the normally dash speaker became very shy. So first keyword ironically, second is shy, and when confronted with appropriately stare of her eager audience. So ironically means opposite to what you anticipate or what you think. So normally the speaker became shy and is used to join 2 similar nature words. So shy will go with the word which is similar to or at least essence wise equal to shy, and the word is reticent means reserve. And normally ironically means first blank should be opposite to the second blank In first blank, it would be opposite to reticent, which is garrulous or talkative. Therefore, the answer would be second option. Question number 6 is based on, again, antonym. First of all, we should know the meaning of the given word. Then we can think of its antonym. So palliate is to mitigate or lessen the impact of a problem. Its opposite would be to increase the problem, that is to aggravate. The next two questions I have picked up are based on RC, reading comprehension. It's a little technical in terms of understanding because it talks about, it has highlighted green agenda, green parties and their agendas. So take your time and read this slide and next slide very carefully, the passage very carefully, to answer two questions based on this passage. So this is second part of this RC. Take your time again, and in case if you want to come to any of the parts, take pause and come back. I shall be moving on to the next slide. This is again a part of RC. Now this is third part. Now the question based on this passage. So the question goes like this: which out of the following is closest in meaning to the first of the three challenges mentioned in the paragraph? If you read the passage clearly, you will find that these green parties were challenged by mainstream parties, and after assuming power, green parties were not able to fixate on any strategy. They were not able to think about what to do next. So answer going by this particular explanation would be 1. Next question is based on which of the following is the most important point that author highlights. In the passage you will find that now the time has come for the green parties to rethink, revisit their strategies, and should make strategies as per the demand or as per the time or the situation or the aspirations of the people, rather than just moving around green peace, green technology and green demands. So that is a major challenge that these parties have to face. Going by this particular explanation, the answer would be option 1. Now in this slide you will find answer to all previous questions, and to know more about TISSNET and related areas and subject areas, you can log on to our YouTube channel hitbullseye.com. Thank you.